in the top echelon.
We've got to change some more of the structures where we give the top players too much protection. Seeded through to so many final stages, guaranteed so much money. We've got to take away that. We've got to create the hunger. We've got to spread the game globally, and we've got to increase the prize money. My aim is to get the prize money up to £10 million minimum, and to have a snooker tournament somewhere in the world every week.
Not all the players are quite so enthusiastic about the scheduling or the prize money on PTCs.
No, I enjoy the PTC events. The only thing I don't like is that you don't get paid in them, and sometimes you go to them and you lose money. But I like playing in them. I think they're great. But you know, it's not fun when you go into these PTC events and you're making the final and maybe coming away making a couple of grand.
But I think the way the ranking system's a lot better now, so for the lower players, if they are doing well, it shows in the rankings by the way the ranking system is being done, where before they could have a good season and it probably wouldn't really show that much.
It's not really a criticism, but I just think the scheduling could be a little bit better, so we're not away like every week so often, because obviously I don't get to see much of my family and friends and stuff like that, but I know this is my job.
This week in York, the murmurs of discontent turned into a one-man chorus of rebellion and snooker's new world order.
Not been one to shy away from speaking my mind, and I think that's what players need to start doing more of, because there's too many people that have said exactly what I said amongst themselves, but they're not man enough to say it to the public and say it to the journalists and have it documented. Obviously I've been criticised for swearing on TV or in my press conference, which I hold my hand up and say I shouldn't have done that. Obviously it's not setting a good example, but I stand by everything else that I said.
Behind the headlines and the showmanship were some serious issues, though going through established diplomatic channels might have been more productive and less contentious.
Well, Mark Allen's comments were disappointing. Players' company, the WPBSA, they're also on our main board, and they also own 26%, by the way, of World Snooker, so we have to listen to them. And the Players' company, under Jason Ferguson's excellent leadership, actually has regular meetings with players so that we hear the views of the players before we make decisions. I have to tell you that Mark Allen has never once attended any of those meetings, so he obviously doesn't feel very strong enough about it to take the trouble to put his point to his own association.
So what to make of it all? Well, your perspective probably depends on a number of factors: your age, your ranking position, and your family commitments, amongst others. One thing is certain: the changes over the past 2 seasons amount to nothing less than a revolution in the structure of the game. And if you fail to adapt to the new environment, your days are numbered.
Well, I think very few people can fundamentally criticise the changes that have taken place, that the prize money is going through the roof, the number of championships is almost trebling, and there's a great feeder system for some of the aspiring young players to come through. But as for the workload, and there's been a lot of criticism about that, how many more tweaks are necessary in order to perfect this newly revolutionised system, Steve?
I don't know. I haven't really got a clue, other than the fact that I think from the history of the game is the one where players were more or less paid to play, and if you were up there you weren't really having to speculate too much to accumulate. Perhaps the future is that you have to put your hand in your pocket a bit more if you want to be a snooker player, and from that perspective the times are changing.
Stephen, is it a young hungry man's game these days then?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, someone like Judd, who's a young single guy and has got no commitments, can just go over the world playing snooker every week, not really having to practice anymore. It's fantastic. Obviously, myself, and my point in my career, is completely different. The only thing I disagree with the PTCs is I do think there's too much ranking points associated with the smaller tournaments, and there should be a little bit more prize money to sort of give the top players incentive to go. But otherwise, you know, it's a great time to be coming into snooker.
It is. I think underpinning some of the concerns that Mark Allen shed light on this week was perhaps a fear that maybe some other players share about tinkering with other events. And I think most notably the World Championship at the Crucible. And even today, Judd Trumps in the papers is saying he reckons it would be a catastrophe if they were to tinker with what he calls the supreme test in snooker. Do you think it needs changing? Do you think it will be changed, John?
I don't think it needs changing. I think there's possible, you know, I mean, from my own viewpoint, looking at the way the last few tournaments have gone there at Sheffield, there's a case for maybe changing the first and the second round to say 10 the first 2 rounds. Sometimes I think having that extra session going straight to 25 for the second round could be changed. I mean, that'd save a session for every player playing, and he might have a bit more left for the tournament. But that's only a personal viewpoint. Other players may go there and want to go straight to 25. I think that's the only thing you tinker with. But everything else, leave it well alone.
Yeah, because Neil Robertson's actually on record the other day as saying that he suggests that the changes in this UK Championship have brought this championship back from the dead. And I'm quoting him directly there, Steve.
Yeah, and also there is a view that, you know, if you look at the semi-finals of the World Championship, which play out over 3 days, that's quite a long time for people to keep their concentration. You know, you could make the case that, you know, every match takes a day. If you looked at Wimbledon, a best-of-5 setter, it stays the same for the whole event. It's a tough one. I think possibly in the future they will cut down a bit on the frames in the World Champ, but not cutting it down to best-of-11s or anything like that. No. I don't think it will ever go anywhere like that, but it may be best-of-19 all the way through, something
well, there has been an argument actually over the last few years that with the standard being so high amongst players generally, by the time we're getting to the final, sometimes we haven't had a top-quality affair as we might have expected because the players are sometimes punch-drunk even by the end.
Yeah, the long matches, obviously you're always running the risk of someone winning at a session early and things like that, and obviously for you guys that's no good. But I still think you said it there, the World Championship has to be the ultimate test, and I think I would say don't tinker with that too much.
Okay, gentlemen. Plenty of discussion on and off the table this week, and all of it in the beautiful city of York. It's been 5 years since we were last here, and we've been delighted to be back.
It's been an absolute ball-bashing bonanza at the Barbican this week.
The bow tie he's got on, isn't it? It's a maverick bow tie, I think it's called. He's quite a maverick player as well, isn't he?
Oh, great shot. What a fantastic shot.
Sure, Luke Skywalker, eh?
One, two, three, four. Aye, knock it in with the white. Oh!
Can you hear me talking? You're reading the programme? Are you enjoying the snooker? Can he hear us? Yeah, he can. There you go. Well, that's one way of getting on the pink. That is one way of getting on the pink.
Where's the brown going?
Judd pointing at the table where he told him where the cue ball was. You little fibber.
How much confidence have you taken from that victory over John? Because he's so hard to put away.
A lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, Stephen Maguire.
Is it in the middle pocket? Yes.
But how much confidence have you taken in retrospect? A lot.
Let's count the rattles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, he's trying to come round off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cushions. What a shot that
was. When you gotta go, you gotta go. Skip to the loo, my darling, eh?
Absolutely.
Has he fluked it? Oh, you can't believe what happened there.
How about the treble? How about the treble?
And it's not finished yet. Where's that pink? Surely not in the middle pocket. You cannot get your breath.
Oh, we have had some laughs here the last 9 days. Anyway, Mr. Trump needs 2 more frames to be champion, but Mark Allen is tenacity itself. This final has got a way to go yet. I fancy a possible 7 more frames to play. And guiding us home, Dennis Taylor and John Virgo.
Yes, thank you, Hazel. Well, no need to tell you about the atmosphere we've got here in the Barbican Centre. It's absolutely